Hi and welcome back. Today I'm sharing 2 art journal pages because I had some paint left from the first one, and then I will use the leftover paint to create another page in my smallest art journal. I'm working in the square watercolor journal from Kunst and Papier, and I'm starting by scribbling a Neocolor II crayon. I like to use this crayon as the first layer on the blank page, as it is easy. I have no idea where I'm going for, and I like that it mixes into the acrylic paint for the next layer. I'm starting with 2 different colors. I can't tell you which colors these are exactly because I mixed them on my palette. And as a palette, I usually use a piece of printer paper, and then later when this is full, I use this for collage work, and I really love those papers. They are also perfect to put into a handmade journal. Here I'm adding a third color. It's a mixture of, I believe, either yellow or orange with white. I'm working with a silicone brush because I like that it's super easy to clean, and I also prefer the marks it makes against a brush. I set this aside to dry, and I'm grabbing my mini art journal. It's brand new. It's a sketchbook from the house brand of my online art supply store. And I'm starting the page in exactly the same way. I'm picking up the rest of the colors that I have on my palette paper. To dry the pages completely, I'm using my heat tool because I want to keep on working, and I didn't want to wait until it was dry. Usually I let pages dry on their own, and in the meantime I'm working on another page or on another project. When it's dry, I go in with a water-soluble pencil. It's a Derwent Inktense, and I believe it's a black shade. And I'm just scribbling it very loose onto my spread. And here I dip the nib into water to get off a little bit more pigment. I'm grabbing my acrylic paint palette, and I'm adding that red pink shade. It's a mixture of cadmium red and I think any kind of magenta plus a tiny little bit of orange. I'm adding a little bit of water to make this bleed onto the page. Next I'm adding in some of the sap green. It's my favorite color from Schminke. It's a super transparent paint and I love it. I just apply the paint with my fingers. Again, I lay this aside to dry and I'm grabbing my small journal and I just smear the rest of the paint onto the page. I also had some blue left from another project and I decided to add it to this spread. And I really like the blue, and so I'm adding something of it to my first spread too. That's the kind of intuitive art play I love. If I see something that I like, then I add it to my page, and if I don't like something, I just wipe it away. I let everything dry again, and now I come back with some stamps. I thought about using that old book page, but then I decided that this circle image will work much better, and I'm using a blue ink to stamp it, and I don't make perfect impressions, I just add a little bit of texture with it. The stamps I'm using here are the ones from the new release. You will find them linked up in the video description. I'm stamping with either archival ink or StayZone. I usually prefer StayZone because it dries quicker on acrylic paint, but if I don't have that color, then I just use the archival ink and it will just take a little bit more time to dry. I now come back in with the Neocolors to make more marks and scribbles. I love that step of the process. To create more variation in the tonal values, I'm adding in some white acrylic ink, and I add a little bit of border to let that bleed, and this gives me a real highlight on the spread and that makes it more interesting. I also add some splatters because I like splatters. This will need a little bit of time until it's dry, and in the meantime, again, I'm grabbing the other journal page, which is also dry now, and I will add also some texture with the book page stamp and with the Neocolors. I also want to add some white to this spread, but I'm using usual acrylic paint instead of the ink because these pages are pretty thin and they are not made to be used with many wet mediums. For my main image for the first page, I decided to pick a butterfly from my stash. It's from the Inky Friends stamp set and I already had it prepared a while ago. I also gave the page a title with some words from my Mixer Sentiment stamp sets. To finish up the small page, I'm using a stamp from the Pencil Marks number 5. It's that poppy seed. And I will just stamp it in black directly onto the page. I'm stamping the image twice to make the page look complete. I want to make the images pop a little bit more, so I'm using a white pastel pencil to color them in. For some final touches, I'm using the RedBubble pen to make some tiny dots in the blue areas. Yes, and these are my pages from today. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope we will see us again. Bye!